Yes, man, Black Lives Matter. It matters to me, playing right here at Reggae Iration, live and direct with Lushy Banton. If you're joining the show right now, make sure you have sent in any request you want us to play for you. Any other question also you want us to ask the guest artist, just send in across all our social platforms at Reggae Iration, at Ras Shem, at
DJ Sweet K.
But right about now, let's get into it. Greetings, Lushy. Greetings, Lushy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can hear me?
Yes, man.
Greetings in the name of the Most High.
Bless up. Nice to hear your voice, and also just the opportunity for you to join us live at our time. First, I wanted to confirm, are you in Jamaica or you're in America?
I'm in America at the moment, you know?
Right.
But born and raised in Jamaica, but I'm in the US at the moment.
All right. So we played your a song that you released a couple of years back, Black Lives Matter. We also have another visual for you, and also the latest release that you did. It's called One Love. And just before we play that, and before we get into the Black Lives Matter, for those who don't know who Lushy Banton is, and they just seeing you for the first time, maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey in the reggae scene.
Yes, man. Well, first I want to say, thanks for having me.
Yes.
KUTV.
Yeah.
Enough respect. I'm happy to be here also. Well, Lushy Banton was born and raised, Kingston, Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And to be exact or precise, I'm from the Kingston 8 area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my journey started out way back in the 90s. I was a sound system artist at first, the renowned Stereo One sound system, myself and
right.
Lieutenant Stitchy, Wolfman, and Ricky Stereo, and Courtney Melody, and the list is endless.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of artists, but just to give a synopsis of where the journey begins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I hold my skill from way back then, and I started recorded like in the early 90s,
mm-hmm.
91, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
One of my biggest song was on the Stone Love label that break me out and break me on the scene, and ever since 93, I haven't been looking back, and I've just been recording and releasing songs after songs and
right.
hits after hits, and here I am on KUTV right now. Enough respect.
Yeah. And just talking about on how you just mentioned on how you begin, it seems I read somewhere that your father was also a promoter in the music business. Was it part of that made you love the music, or also because I've heard you started with a little bit of big producers into the scene? Was it his connection, or was it just you are close with these people?
No, well, my father was a promoter of dancehall, having sessions, keeping sessions. So I was kind of introduced to that settings, mm-hmm. like I said, the session settings.
Yeah.
So I was kind of inspired, but I was just a kid, I couldn't really do anything at that time. I was, like maybe 7, 8, 9 years old.
Right.
It's not until I got to the age
mm-hmm.
where I could pursue what I wanted to do and how I wanted to go about it.
Right.
But I would say yes. Some of those sessions, I would say I was bitten by the bug or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because on any given weekend there was a big sound system coming in, the King Jammies, the King Tubbies,
yeah.
you name it. My father had hired them to play at the sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say that I was got inspired somewhere somehow along the line. Yeah.
Were there some people during that time that you really loved their style, or you were looking up to them and saying, I would really love to do the way this artist is doing his vibe? Was there someone who was inspiring at that moment?
No, because like I said, I was so small, I was just
right.
a kid, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really know who is who and what is what. I was just knowing that there was all this big boom box and all this excitement, and the sound was stringing up.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time the session come around, I had to go to bed, because like I said, I was just a kid.
Yeah.
But I kind of know what was going on,
mm-hmm.
but not old enough to pursue anything at that time.
Right.
You know, not until I got into my teens, so then I started to,
Right.
pursue.
At what age now did you now realize, right now this is the way for me? I should start doing my recording. I should start going professional with this. At what time? At what age did you realize that?
Well, I don't think it's something that you come out your brain and just say it's time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just something that you do. You know, you just do it because it's part of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in the street you turn on, there's a sound system playing. You know, there is music playing. You know, in any community that you goes into. You know,
Mm-hmm.
somebody own a sound system on every other street.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's not something that you plan. You just keep owning your skill, honing, and opportunity just tends to appear, and you know you get more enthusiastic at some point, and you know it just goes from one thing to another. It's not something that I plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can only speak for myself.
Right.
So it's not something that I really plan and like, yo, it's time to start recording. It's time. You know, the opportunity, it comes and it goes and it goes and it comes. You know.
Right.
You know, somebody might hear you and like, yo, I like how you sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, come to my session, or you know, whatever. You know, you just go with the flow. It's a flow thing for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as you go along, doors open as you go along, and you know, opportunities.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Come and you just take them as you go. That's it.
Mm-hmm. You talked earlier about how you are able to juggle between different labels as you are starting out. How did your involvement with now United States come in, and how did your transition came to be to United from Jamaica now to United States?
Well, after a couple years of recording and songs getting released for you worldwide, you know, not only Jamaica, but your music reached the States, Canada, Europe, and even down there in Africa. I had a song that I did for Stone Love back in about '93 called "Think Me Done," that got real popular. So the States comes in now on the other islands where I was requested to come and perform because the song got popular in all these places. So yes, I was pursued by promoters,
right,
to perform. And so that's how the States and the islands came in, like the Cayman and so forth and so on.
Right. And it seems you got in love with the United States because since you went and started doing recording from there, it became part of you. You became part of the how to promote or doing music in the United States. So basically, in terms of you doing music, how was the response in comparison with Jamaica, and what really prompted you to stay in the United States and promote and continue growing your music from there rather than going back to to Jamdam?
Well, in the beginning, I was going back and forth, because all this started to happen. All this started happening in 1993. So I was back and forth to Jamaica and all over the place, all through the 90s. I never settled in the US until about 2000, early 2000.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was back and forth all the time, doing shows and signing to labels and stuff like that. And so I was living in Jamaica all the time.
Right.
It's not until about 2000 before I migrated to the States.
Right. You moving there, you started doing some live shows and just being able to juggle the different sound system. How did that contribute to your your stage presence and the ability on your vocal recordings?
Well, I have to say, it contributed big time, because the more you go or the more you do something, is the more experience you gather, and I have to say, I gather a lot of experience just by even traveling to all these different places, in California and New York and Miami, Florida and Washington and just to name a few, So I would have to say yes, because I meet so much wonderful musicians that I work with, producers, all over the place. I've been recording and stuff like that. So yes, so I gather a lot of experience from all those, encounters with these producers and artists and shows and traveling and all this stuff. Yeah.
Right. What are some of the highlight moments of you just working with different notable producers and different artists throughout your career?
Repeat that. What's the question? What are
some of the highlights moment of you working with different across different producers and just different artists?
Wow. It's so much, Russian. There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much. I get the opportunity to work with even people like Wycliffe John. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the highlights that I can remember. You know what I'm saying? And so much more.
Right.
So much more people I meet. Comedians that you see on TV here in the States. People like Some More, Cedric Entertainer, DHL Ugly.
Right.
There's so much people. It's crazy. And yeah, those are some of the highlights.
Right.
But it's a lot, man, and I enjoy every bit of it.
Right.
But it's a lot.
Hearing some of our latest releases like Obama, Black Lives Matter, it seems you started incorporating what inspired you to start incorporating the social political subjects in your lyrics and your style?
I'd have to say that comes from the environment. I pay attention to a lot of what's going on. Around in my surrounding and the world at large, should say. I pay attention to the news, and I'm just engaged. You know what I'm saying? And for as far as I'm concerned, it's what I do. When I was in Jamaica, I do a lot of that stuff. Even though some of them I didn't record them, but when I go to a live dance hall and I hold that mic, I would tell you about what been happening in not only my community but Jamaica at large. You know what I'm saying? So it was, I would have to say, it's a knack that I had, a gift, a talent. I have a lot of songs like that, and that highlighting social commentary. So if any of your guests, not your guests, but any of your listeners that listening to this show know me from back then, are into cricket. There's a famous guy that played for the West Indies cricket team called Brian Lara that broke. There was a long-standing batting record that was there.
Right.
And when he broke it, I made a song about him, and I didn't record it, but I just hold the mic in the dance and I would deliver something like that, and the place would go crazy. You understand? When Brazil won the World Cup after how many years, and they won it in US in 1994, I made a song about that.
Yeah.
When Bolt broke the record in 2008, I had a song about that. So I have a knack for stuff like those. So Obama to me is no different. You understand? And Black Lives Matter, those things are just like right down my alley. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So those things just come to me natural.
Right. Now, talking about Obama, which is one of also your greatest track, just take me through how that experience. What was the inspiration behind that creation of that song, and how did that impact the whole election thing, and just you personally? What impact did it have had on your career?
That's a very good question. But when Obama it was highlighted that he was going to run for the presidency, it was like Obama mania. The whole country was kind of galvanized, and was very interested in him.
Yeah.
So you could see it everywhere, like anywhere you go to TV, whenever he do a speech, it was well watched and stuff like that, and everybody was enthusiastic, even me myself, because he's a black man, and it was said that he was going to be the first black president if he should win. So it gathered a lot of momentum, you know, and his name was everywhere. It was on everybody's lips. So I think that's where the inspiration come from me. You know, this would be history. And I decided to pen a song about it. You know, so that's how that came about, the inspiration. He was everywhere. He was on the TV. He was on the radio. He was in the streets. Like anywhere you turn, he was. You know, it was all about him. So I decided, oh man, this would be good if I could put a song together. So I started to think about it, and that's how all that came. You know, just came about.
Right.
And I write the song and I recorded it, and I even released the song before the election came around. I released the song about June of that year, 2008, and the election was like in November. So the song was out months, and the video was out months before he even won the presidency. So the question for me, from a lot of fans, was like, how did you do that? How do you know he was going to win? But I didn't know he was going to win, but I know that his chance was great. And like I said, it was Obama mania.
Right.
You know, so I think it was a good thing to do, and it paid off. It worked out.
Now, Lushy, now right?
Yeah, go ahead.
In retrospect, now looking back, Obama winning, and his term, 10 years term, and 10 years later you release a track, 8 years term. I'm confusing the Kenyan because in Kenya it's 10 years. So after 8 years term, years later you came to release Black Lives Matter. Don't you see, like, what's your observation? Was there any change, or you as a person in United States, do you feel the change that you maybe wanted to see during that time, was it really achieved, or it's just an ongoing conflict?
It's an easy one, man. It's an ongoing conflict, really and truly. But you know, like I said, I pay attention to, you know, I pay attention to what's happening with not only myself but my people.
Right.
You know, I listen to what's happening in your neck of the hood.
Right.
You know, what's happening with Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because as an artist, I think wide. I think far and wide.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm trying to do my music, I'm not only trying to rap for myself only. I'm trying to rap for you guys.
Right.
Anywhere you are. You know what I'm saying? So I am a representative of myself and my people. So it's only natural that I, you know, Black Lives Matter.
Right. Right. All right. Now, talk to me about your label. It's called What's It Not. Hope I got it right. Just talk me about your label, how it came to be formed, and what currently are some of the projects that you're working on your label. All right. Let's listen into some Lushy Banton, then come back and talk to him about the project he's working on his label. Selector. Love playing right here at Reggae Iration, Lushy Banton. Lushy, now I was asking you about your label. What's it not entertainment? It's the one which has produced this track. Talk to us about your label, some of the projects that you're working on your label, and also just this feature track that we've just played, how it came to be, and the collabo you worked. I think it's a collabo. Maybe talk to us a little bit about the track also.
Yeah. Yeah, man, What's It Not label is my personal label. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, man, What's It Not? You know, after a while, recording for all these producers, you know, you become, in my opinion, you should become a student of the game.
True.
And I am a student of the game, and I want to give back, you know, to younger artists. So I always think it was right for not only for me to produce myself, you know, like putting my own label together, because my management team, you know, they kind of like mold me into thinking that part of the business.
Yeah.
My manager Stephen Freeman, you know, when he started producing me, you know, he was showing me the ins and outs of the business.
Right.
So, you know, he showed me every little thing that happened behind the scene that I didn't really know about. I wasn't really interested either. But, you know, he brought it to my attention and started showing me what he's doing for me when it comes to producing and releasing songs and marketing. And, you know, he encouraged me. So as we went by, as time goes by, I went by, you know, I ended up putting my label together, you know, as he had showed me how to go about it, you know, and encouraged me that I should, you know, be able to give back to other artists, you know, over the years. Right. So that's how that came about, you know, my manager trying to mold me. And here we are, me producing my own stuff years later. You understand?
Right.
So the vibe, the song One Love, it came by with by my friend there, Sunshade. You know, he wrote a song and told me that he see me all over the song, and he just called me up on the phone and was telling me about the song.
Right.
And he wanted me to listen to the song, but he was all the way in Cleveland that time. So I had to make a trip from, say, New York to Cleveland. Took me like a year to get there because I was so busy doing other stuff in New York. And he would call me every other month or so, like, yo, why you not here, man? You said you was going to be here like a month ago. And I thought, wow, man, I'm got tied up, whatever. But anyway, I finally got there. And we went to the studio and played the song for me. And I just went in the booth and just dropped it, you know, because I write a lot. So I could find stuff to match what he was already saying. Right. And that's how the song came about. You know?
Right. Now, you've mentioned about the business part of the music, and that really got me interested because, you see, even in Jamaica, some of the legend artists we know are some of the big artists also currently. We see them more often. They're always in conflict in terms with the recording label they work with, in terms of royalties, and just it's always an issue with the codes. And you've mentioned about that. What's your thought on, as an artist who wants to begin to start doing music, should one just proceed, and because most of the artists don't have the capacity when they begin, should one just be able to join the label, learn the ways, or it's good for one to start on his own, or start a label by himself and just grow? What will be your thought on this?
Well, my thought on that will be something like, you know, there's a lot of books out there where you can educate yourself. There's a lot of books how to go about the business, because the most important thing about music is the business side. Right. And that's what people don't tell you in the streets. So you coming in blind, you don't know. Yeah. So you just wanna, like for me personally, I just wanted to hold the mic. You know, I felt like I was so talented, I have so much to say. You know, so I wasn't really interested in that part, you know, and I didn't know nothing about that part. So I think a lot of guys fall into that trap where you just want to showcase your talent or your skill. Right. You know, but now we're living in a different time where information is easily accessible, right, to us. So I would say to a young artist now, educate yourself, do your research. You know what I'm saying? And there are steps that you could take and know how to go about recording and right. Continue. Yes. So right. So that's what I want to pass on that to any artist, and for the question that you asked me. That's how you should go about it. There's a lot of ways to, you know, get your hands on information, right, and know how to go about it and consult people and get you a lawyer. That's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of artists make. True. They don't have a lawyer, and you cannot go through this business without a lawyer. You know, right. And I have to say, I learned a lot of these things from my manager, Stephen Freeman. You know, that right. Doing music without a lawyer, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. So that's why a lot of these artists that you mentioned earlier are in conflicts today about their money and their publishing. You know what I'm saying? Because they never got consulted by a lawyer how to do and what to do and what not, and so forth and so on. Yeah.
It's pretty good because it seems you've mastered the whole game, because many artists, when you talk about the reading part, now the problem begins from there, because many people just want to sing, no? Sing and not to read again.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to see.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's true. It's so true. Like I said, growing up in Jamaica and the culture, like I said, every other street have a sound system in where I'm from, like in the inner city, in the community, in Kingston. Every other street there's a sound system. So you just want to go hold that mic and just show your skill. And not knowing nothing about the other side of the business. So we don't have a clue. So somebody say, come to the studio. We just go and we just record and we go home, and we just want to hear our song on the radio or on the sound system. So that's the way it was back in the 80s when I was started to pursue in the game. So today a lot of guys don't make any money from the business because
True. Right.
Nobody told them or taught them. Yeah.
Right. Now, because of time, maybe you could share talk to us about your upcoming projects, album, performances, any new music out there people should expect, and just where they can be able to buy your stuff.
All right, let me start off with my latest single. My latest single right now is titled "Crazy Love." I'm in the mood of shooting the video for Crazy Love.
True.
So that's what I'm about to do in another few weeks or so. I should be shooting that video for Crazy Love. So that's my latest single that I'm pushing right now and that I'm running with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's first and foremost and major. After that, we are watching to see what transpired as far as the fans and how they take on to that. And then that's gonna determine what do I do next as far as the album. But I'm sitting on a lot of joints, man, a lot of songs, because the pandemic came and shut the whole world down for like 2 years, and we couldn't do nothing.
True.
So, but I just kept recording and writing and recording. So I have a lot of joints that I sit on. You know? So the album is ready, really. But it's the pick. But right now we are picking back up the pieces after the pandemic. So it's kind of a wait and see game of what we do next. But right now we're pushing the Crazy Love, and the feedback is phenomenal right now. Right. It's going great.
Yeah, I can see a couple of people just. Yeah, I can see a couple of people just sending some shout out. Promoter Natty King saying is tuned in, is loving the vibes. Big up yourself up. Kinywa Wailer Wilson just is telling us greetings. The show is on fire. I'm locked in from Meru Massive. We are locked in, and is saying is enjoying the conversation. Now, maybe you could tell us how people can follow you, and also just your channels, how the social media platform, and your final words to your fans in Kenya and across the world.
Yeah, man. I want enough respect to Natty, Yeah, man, to Natty and thing, and the other fans in Kenya and Gambia and South Africa and any place that I live out, don't feel nowhere. I just love straight across to my people them. There's an Obama video, first and foremost. I want to say there's an Obama video. It's on YouTube. I don't know if you guys could find it. I told Patrick about it, but that's on YouTube. Lushy Banton Obama, and it jumped right up on YouTube. So I just want to give you that information because it's years ago I wanted to find somebody in Kenya to tell him about the Obama, since his dad is from there. Yeah.
He's a local man down here,
Yeah. So finally, I met up with you guys and so forth and so on. So you could let the massive know about that song and
really
let them hear it. Yeah. But as far as my social media platform, I'm on all the major platforms: the YouTube, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, and so on. And it's Lushy Banton right across the board for all those platforms. Lushy Banton Facebook, Lushy Banton for Twitter, Lushy Banton for Instagram, Lushy Banton Music TV for YouTube, and LinkedIn and TikTok. Lushy Banton, Lushy Banton, Lushy Banton, Lushy Banton, Lushy Banton. Lushy for Lushy, Lushy, and the Banton Banton. You understand?
Right.
So you could find me anywhere. Once you Google that name, there's a whole lot of stuff that we didn't talk about on the show that you'll find about me in Google. And you know where I've been and what I've been doing and what's happening and you know and what's to come.
Right.
You understand?
Talking about that, before you give us your last words, and I think DJ is trying to look for your Obama song. I think it's on YouTube, but he'll get to play it. Now, talking about DJ, do you have any question for Lushy Banton? Because he's been looking for DJs or promoter who plays music down here. Any question, or you're good?
Yeah, no question at the moment.
So Lushy, this is our DJ. Our DJ is gotten the YouTube platform where he could get all of your tracks, and also when you release that new video, just make sure you share the link with us directly so that we can be able to preview fast on Reggae Iration.
What does the DJ mean by he don't have a question? You could ask me when I'm coming to Kenya. Why you ask me? What's wrong with this DJ?
DJ, Wagwan.
Wagwan, brother. We are dealing, brother.
DJ, you want to talk to Lushy?
Yeah, when are you coming to Kenya?
Yeah, man, I put it on the spot, man. If it's even me, I have to give you the question to ask.
Yeah.
I don't need that. You can't. No, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man?
So basically, continue.
I'm coming to Kenya when he invite me. That's the answer.
Right.
So send me an invitation and you see what happens.
No worries, man. No worries. Any last word, Lushy Banton, to your fans?
Yeah, man. That's why I said enough respect, enough love. And I thank you guys for having me. And I'm looking forward to you know, meet and greet, you know, all these fans, you know what I say?
Yeah.
And I will continue to put out good music and great music, not only for myself but to uplift, also to uplift my people, you know. Right.
We want to appreciate you, Lushy Banton, for joining us and just the moment and the time you've given us. We appreciate it. We're looking forward for great success from you and more songs from you. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Lushy Banton.